Welcome to this Mastery Empowerment course from New Earth One Network. This is designed exclusively for your higher self connection and embodiment. Welcome to this Mastery Empowerment course brought to you by New Earth One Network. In this course, consciousness activator Barbara Canals offers information on the new era for auric bodies. This is making the quantum leap into the new time energies for balance on all levels. Here's Barbara.
My name is Barbara, and I activate people into greater consciousness. And I do that through either private sessions, through the languages of light, which are not actually, as I see it, not actually channeled. It's just my consciousness, which I have source embodied, my higher self, my spirit embodied, and I'm able to bring a lot of my consciousness in. So activating people into their higher consciousness and next steps. And I also do a treatment called aura transformation. This treatment was developed by a person called Annie Senoff from Denmark. And this aura transformation is an upgrade of our energy systems or auras. In this course now, I'll speak about that because it is a very powerful treatment, which upgrades our system into the crystal time and the crystal golden time. At the moment, we are in the golden age, and this means that we're stepping into a very high frequency where we can start materializing our dharma. I am going to go ahead and pull up a presentation which I made. Quantum leap into the new time energy and balance on all levels. So basically where we are now, there is two worlds, the old time and the new time energy. This new time energy is all the energies that have been coined as, or that we can see them as indigo energy, crystal energy, golden energy, and a lot of people speaking about the diamond energy, but that is actually very high frequency for the planetary moment at which we are. We're like embodying, really, we can embody the crystal energy and start activating our golden energy, which is our materialization power. And then I put balance on all levels. This is very important because what we're actually, our evolution or ascension in this time is actually coming into balance, coming into whole. So bringing our masculine and our feminine together, coming into balance. So integrating all of our selves. Up until now, we've been spread out. So it's integrating all of ourselves into the heart, integrating masculine and feminine, bringing those into balance, and our elements, which are fire, water, earth, and air, also bringing those into balance in order for us to be able to live in wholeness and materialize. We're here in this time now. What I said, the golden age is the time where we are stepping into our dharma and materializing our dharma. So bringing through that which we came here on earth to do. So what are the new time energies and this new platform of consciousness? So as the earth evolves into a higher frequency, so do we. And since the mid-90s, we have been moving into new stages of our evolution, which means the possibility for us to move into the new time energies and a new platform for consciousness. This new platform for consciousness is what many people call like fifth dimension and beyond. So sometimes we tend to think like that these things are not reachable, but going into fifth dimension is just means like raising up our vibration to be able to access more of our consciousness. And what's happened for a lot of people is because we're not integrated yet, we'll be spread out in different dimensions. So we'll have like part of our energy in first dimension and other part of our energy in second and third and fourth. Some of us maybe a little bit of jumping into fifth and back. So now we have the possibility of actually bringing all our energies into fifth dimension and start working from the fifth dimension. Fifth dimension is the fire energy. It is our spirit energy. So it's actually when we're integrating spirit into the body. Most of us have been reaching out into spirit, so we'll go, but this is like bringing it in, what we're able to do now. So the old time energy is on its way out. It's a natural process because everything on this planet is moving into a higher frequency. And as a result, the old auras or energy systems are breaking down. So new generations with the old energy become obsolete, and new generations are being born with a new time energy. So basically all the children that have been that are being born now and since the mid-90s have been born, every time they've been bringing in this new time energy. And the way that like Source decided, like this master plan for the evolution of the planet, they decided that these children were going to bring in these new energies or like be the new models, because that way it's easier to wake up the parents. Let's say if your child is, you don't understand your child, or your child is they're reflecting, so they're acting up in a way, and especially you're not connecting with them because the frequency level is so there's such a leap in between that you can't understand each other. Then parents start looking at themselves because that's the only way to work. So it was a really smart move, let's say, from an energetic perspective for evolution. So here we have the chart where it's how the energies came in this new for this new, like in this evolution. So at the end of the 80s, that's when the indigo energy started coming into earth. So there was people still with the aura structure, which I'll talk about later, which most of us are used to seeing with all the 7 chakras and the different layers to the aura. But the aura started having streaks of indigo energy, and that could be recorded. And then in 95, the children that were being born with actually an indigo aura. And these indigo people, or indigo children, indigo people, were more integrated than the people before, higher frequency, because the indigo energy is higher frequency, but they don't have spirit still integrated into the body. And it's like they're more, because they don't have spirit integrated into the body, they're more as channels. But they're very connected to everything, but they have to channel it more. Then in 2004, these indigo people started arriving, so these children started arriving with crystal energy mixed into them. And so they start having a little bit of like changing their energy structure, starting the change of the energy structure. It upgrades on itself most of the time. And then in 2009, the crystal children or crystal individuals started being born, and then this means that these children came with a crystal aura already, which is for the indigo children, it's an indigo colored aura, and for the crystal children, it's like a pinkish. It's called crystal aura, but it's like a pink hue to it, and it might look, to a lot of people, it might look delicate, but it's actually impermeable, and it is extremely, because it's impermeable, it's extremely strong, so nothing can come into it, and it is very, so like repelling and magnetizing, so it knows it perfectly. And these crystal individuals, crystal people, once you have the crystal aura, you actually come in with spirit embodied. So it's your higher, when I say spirit, I mean like higher self embodied. And in 2012, which was the start of the golden age, the children started being born. They had the crystal aura, but they had the crystal aura, but the golden energy activated in their body already. And the golden energy is the energy from the center of Earth, and it is the or materialization power. So from 2012 on, it was the crystal golden children being born. These are some characteristics of the indigo energy. So basically, the indigo energy came in to break structure. So indigo children are more of like the fighters. They see something in the system and they go against it, and they're like, call it out, yell it out. But that was needed at that time. But as time evolved, they were like thinkers of their own, like very wanting to do the things in their way. And as time, like as they broke down structures, then the crystal energy can come in. And the crystal energy is very different. It's extremely high frequency, as I said, and very pure. And then it is an energy with like, where it has like very clear boundaries. It doesn't allow for anything to transpass. So crystal children know very well what they want. They like harmony as well. So for example, with crystal children, what they see is like, they're not going to fight against anyone. Somebody's doing something that they don't like. It's like, okay, they can have, the crystal energy came to open perspectives. So they can see somebody doing something and they're fine. You do it that way. I'll go and create my world over here. So the crystal energy came to start creating different worlds, but they think in a very holistic way. They can integrate all the different perspectives. Doesn't mean that they have to go against it, as the indigo energy was. And these are the aura structures. So here's where it gets really interesting, because when you see this aura, the one with all the different colors, the first one, that's the old time aura. So anyone that was born before mid-90s has this type of aura. They might have like indigo streaks in them, depends, but basically it's this type of aura where there's the 7 chakras. And in this type of aura, we have like the different layers to the aura. So the aura is constructed of, first, our body, which is our denser part. Then we have the layer after our body is the etheric layer of the aura. And this etheric layer is our body protection. What's happened is that a lot of people, because of the high frequency in the earth at the moment, their etheric layer has been breaking down of the aura. So people become extremely, people say they're just very empathic, but they're just like, people are open up, very open, and, not being able to like differentiate themselves from other energies, what other people feel, everything just comes in. And this etheric layer is the one that's connected to all the chakras. So a lot of people nowadays need to meditate a lot and need to be like handling all their chakras and aligning them, because they're like, they've taken in so much stuff that they're like all over the place. And then the following layer is the astral layer. And the astral layer is the layer that contains all our karmic and emotional memories. So that's it's connected to the Akash, and that's where all our karmic information is. A lot of people are saying that it's all our baggage, all this baggage that they're ready to let go, because it doesn't fit the new time anymore. And then, so there's the emotional, like a lot of people keep seeing the patterns repeating, and they can't get rid of them though, because it's there, it's on the in the astral level. And as long as you have that layer, you can't really move on. It's really, you can, you'll revisit the thing over and over. And then you have the lower mental body, and the lower mental body, that's after the astral. And that's sort of like our mental space. Let's say like it's our, like a hardware from like a computer or something. And that's like all the memories, everything we learn, everything we understand, how we record that all. And it's our memory, but like more of the mental, not the emotional, but like the understanding. And how it's also like how we perceive things, how much we can see, how much of it, like how much we can understand. What's happened with this, as frequency has gotten higher on Earth, is that a lot of people, and this is very common with like ascension symptoms, have like start like not having clarity and like a blurry mind, forgetting things, because this because like the high energy with this sort of like aura structure does not match. So one becomes really like just like forgets a lot of stuff and not very clear in the mental way. And then finally, we have the higher mental body, and that is like the most outer space of our energy system or aura, and that's what connects to our higher self. Now, as when you have that aura structure, one has to meditate to be able to access their higher self, or meditate or actually sit down to make that connection to connect to the higher self, which is not inside of us. When you jump to the crystal aura, one embodies the higher self. Spirit is within. So really one doesn't have to meditate anymore, or because you're in a, as I call it, once you jump into this crystal energy, you're in a meditation because spirit is within. So the indigo aura, I'm going to skip it now because it's really not that important anymore. I would say it's important for people that are jumping into this energy, for people to that have not had boundaries at all, to like start putting their energetic boundaries in place, of like knowing what it is they want, not allowing people to transpass. Because what happens is, in the old time, with the old time aura, one has so many chakras and so much influence from the external that one doesn't know like what it is. They might be feeling something, like they really don't want to do something, but they have all these influences, external influences, that are telling them that if they don't do it, they're bad, for example. So they'll go and do something that is completely not in accordance with their truth, but they don't know their truth because there's so much baggage and so many external influences. So the indigo, a person that undergoes like an aura transformation process to upgrade their aura might have to go through a bit of the indigo phase, but not really anymore. But that would be mostly so that they understand, start like feeling what is actually putting these energetic boundaries, and saying that no, because a lot of people don't know how to say that no. They might think they do, a lot of people, but then really they don't, and they don't understand until they step into this new time, and then they're like, oh, okay, that's really what it means. And then, so I'm going to go straight into the crystal aura, and the crystal aura is this, or as you see it here, pink, that I said was really, it's really soft in color. It's extremely strong. It's extremely high frequency, and it does not allow. So when people with a crystal aura only have one heart chakra, which is connected to the source, it's in the heart. It's connected to fifth dimension. It's the fire, and it's our truth. So it's connected, it's our essence. So there is no possibility of I'm thinking this, but I'm doing the other. And no, everything is integrated into here. So one just knows, and they'll go for their truth or it's extremely truth seeking. And the thing is, because this crystal aura is impermeable, no external influences can come in. Here, there's no layers either. It is only the body and the crystal aura. So we've let go of the etheric body, because the whole of the energy system or aura is impermeable, so the body doesn't need it. It's already like you're very protected by your energetics, so the body doesn't need that layer. It doesn't have an astral layer anymore. You let go of all karma, and it doesn't have a lower mental body. You have complete space. Like what people notice after an aura transformation is the amount of like memory and stuff that comes back to them, or the mental capacity that they might have, and also the way they understand. And then of course it doesn't need like the higher mental body, because spirit is integrated. And the crystal golden aura, that's when once the person has crystallized completely, which would mean that spirit has integrated every one of the cells in the body and the whole aura, and it becomes a closed system, then each cell can start opening up to the golden energy to be able to even further materialize the information, the Dharma, that's in every cell of the body. So this is the composition of the aura structure in the old aura. And why upgrading our energy system now is important. And the way that I do it is with aura transformation, and this is a one-time energy treatment, which I do. And whoever is interested in this can get in touch with me. It is in person though. I can only do it in person. So the Earth's frequency has significantly increased within a very short amount of time. The children of today are born with a new time energy system that has much higher frequency than that of their parents and other adults around them. Today's adults are born with an old time energy system that is no longer optimal for the time we live in now. So moving into the new time is the next step in Earth's expansion and development into a higher frequency. This is also true for us humans, both in our bodies and our energy fields. Many people feel out of balance today because of the old time energy system, and personal frequency is no longer in alignment with the energy of the surroundings. I'm going to talk about this. This is also true for humans, both in their bodies and energy fields. So what happens is once you undergo a process like aura transformation, and you start embodying spirit, first your chakras merge to only have one energy center, the heart. And then once you start crystallizing and your aura crystallizes, the body per se, how we know like the body, like energy system, so the meridians before that becomes obsolete. It's not because every cell is they all work together, but every cell is unique and every cell crystallizes in its own. So every cell has its energetics. And when it says many people are out of balance, today that's ascension symptoms. A lot of people don't know what ascension symptoms are. A lot of people do, but basically once you get this crystal aura, these symptoms, which are like maybe having headaches, being extremely tired, blurry mind, not being able to think straight, aches, these sort of like, feeling out of sorts, like many times, like feeling like, stepping into fifth and still being in third, like just seeing all the baggage, all the karmic baggage, and like, it just becomes very heavy. That's sort of like the ascension symptoms that pull many people back. And if you undergo a transformation and then you're going to get the crystal aura and the ascension symptoms and the crystallization, So crystallizing in every cell of your body and in your energetic field becomes an extremely easy process. Okay, so aura transformation is a one-time energy treatment which increases the frequency in both the body and energy system to match the energy system of today's young children. During an aura transformation, an old aura is dissolved, and the resulting upgrade leaves us with a new aura that is perfectly suited to the new energies of today's world. When you upgrade your aura through aura transformation, then your aura itself, or energy, will keep upgrading itself. It's because it's connected, you become your own cosmic source. It keeps, source keeps like upgrading it, let's say. So what does aura transformation do for you? Your energy system will be upgraded and will be perfectly suited for the new time energies. You have protection of your physical body. You're in direct contact with your consciousness on a daily basis. You have a quick and smooth integration of the higher energy frequencies on Earth in your body and consciousness, meaning you will have a faster expansion, be able to keep your own energy to yourself, have a stronger intuition and drive. Your magnetism and attraction power is intensified. Be in contact with your truth, your passion, dharma, which is your dharma. So when you stop living from your karma, because you let all of that go, you then start living from your dharma. So you come here, like we are at this point now where people are ready to live their life purposes, their mission, which is the dharma. So, but you can only do that once you let go of the karma. This is how I see it. Like actually, you're really ready to like put yourself into that with all your energy. Once you let go of the karma that's pulling you back. So in general, you find yourself more whole together with more energy, charisma, and joy. So as I just reviewing, so like once you upgrade your system, the energy keeps upgrading itself. You become, once you're completely crystallized, you become your own cosmic source. You have protection of your physical body because the crystal aura is impermeable, nothing can come in. And you're in direct contact with your consciousness on a daily basis. And that's because you have spirit embodied or higher self embodied. And you have more, it's like sort of like upgrading a computer. All of a sudden, it has so much more space. It's so much more faster and works so much better. It's the same with us. So you'll have the quick integration, smooth integration of higher frequencies. So there's a lot of influx of higher frequencies coming into Earth all the time. So it's being able, now your system has space, your body and your system has space, so it can integrate all this new influx and everything really quick, and you can sort of understand it. And you can keep your energy to yourself. That's very important. Many times we don't realize, but we're all energy. So like we're receiving constant energy from others and giving out or too much energy to others. Or so with this crystal aura, it's sort of like not allowing others energy in and not allowing your energy to be stuck into somebody else. And you will have stronger intuition and drive. That's because you have spirit, higher self, and body. You just know what you have to do when it sort of takes you, and your body takes you because spirit is taking you. And your magnetism attraction power is intensified. That's because you have all your information, of your conscious information on, so your gifts, talents in your system now embodied. So before, when you have the old aura, there's you have layers of trauma, of all the emotional like unrest and all that karmic memory. So it keeps bringing you this, revisiting the stuff that is not that pretty, let's say, that's tough. But once you have this, that is, you don't have that anymore, then, and you're ready to step into your dharma and open up, you're ready to like receive to bring in your consciousness all your gifts, the talents, the innate knowledge. So all of a sudden you're being able to attract that which you really want, because there's no conflict in between also all the chakras, and you just completely, you're protected, but you can be completely open. And then that's when you can start receiving. And yeah, you find, I mean, you come into balance, you come to into integrate. And once you're living without that baggage and you're living from your dharma, that is, and you know why you came here to earth, that is the biggest joy. There's no emotional unrest anymore. You're like in center, aligned. Nothing pulls you up. There's no reactivity anymore. And you can just live joy because you're here, presence. You can be your self-love. The self-love increments so much. So the old time versus the new time. There's energetic entanglement versus keeping the energy to yourself. So in the old time, when you have the old aura, it's sort of, we're all hooking energetically into one another, either from the past or even now. Like our thoughts are energy. When you think a lot about a person, you're energetically, hooking onto this person, or the person hooking onto you. So we're constantly being influenced energetically, taken over energetically. When you have this crystal energy, crystal aura, that doesn't happen, and you become very aware. And that's very important, to be able to like have energy and to keep your clarity and sovereignty. So you're not being, so it's sovereignty and clarity versus being pulled in all directions. And then it's permanent joy versus back and forth dealing with old stuff. There's wholeness and integration once we jump into this new time. There's balance, and I would say balance and alignment. Less emotion and focus. So there's extreme focus, that's the crystal energy, and energy saving. So we're sort of like computers. And in the old time, we can have like tons of windows open, and you don't know what we're really doing with our energy. So, we're thinking of this and thinking of that and doing this and that. So all of that is like energy being sucked out of us. Whereas in this new time, we just know, and we're like, okay, window close, window close. We open the window that we need, and then we close. So we're like, energetically very condensed, clear, integrated. Here, there's basically the old time. We have a soul aura, what we call a soul aura, with how I explained the aura was. And then the new time, you have the indigo and crystal aura. Right now, when people upgrade their auras, they go straight to crystal. Then in the old time, people have 7 chakras. In the new time, there can be 3 chakras, because the indigo children had 3 chakras. But then when you go into the crystal aura, there's 1 main chakra, which is the heart. And in the old time, there's many truths, because we're conditioned. We have like all these many beliefs that we can't see we have, because they're very subconscious. And then in the new time, there's 1 truth. And it's the truth of the heart, the truth of the spirit. And old time, there's the collective consciousness. And in the new time, there's the individual consciousness. So the individual consciousness is not affected by all that collective consciousness, and that collective consciousness is a lot of conditioning, things that aren't really ours. They're from the collective, but they're able to get into us because the old time aura, or the soul aura structure, is not impermeable. With a crystal aura, the collective thoughts and emotions and everything else cannot come into us. So you're like completely aware of your own consciousness and aligned with your own consciousness. So here's where it's like, in the old time, they're subconscious. All these patterns go on, and all these like beliefs and conditionings that we have, they're subconscious. We don't even know we have them. And in the new time, you're conscious. You're able to see these things. And if we have like all of a sudden a pattern that needs to be solved, it'll come up, And it's very easily, you're like, there's no shame or anything. You just are able to observe it and let it go, and it's gone. You send it out of your field and it's gone forever. In the old time, there's gurus and masters. We have like all these people that are like giving teachings, and we follow their teachings. And in this new time, and all these children that are coming, there's no gurus or masters. Everyone is finding their own truth. It doesn't mean that you don't listen to other people and acquire knowledge, because you do that. You do that from another perspective, from the perspective of your own truth, integrating more information, but not putting your power out there to somebody else that might know. And that this for me was a big change, because I always thought other people knew more than me, in a complex way, and people might not know more than me, but I listen to other people. Now, once I upgraded my aura, I listen to other people, then I tap into myself and I see how like I integrate that, and I find it interesting, but I never give my power out to somebody else that might know more, for example. Then in the old time, there's hierarchy, and in the new time, there's many dimensions. And in the old time, there's karma, and in the new time, there's the dharma and free will. And these are, so like in the new time, you're ready to follow your life purpose, your mission, your free will. There is instant karma, which is, instead of like in the old time karma, you're solving things from from time and time and time back, things that you don't even know, because it's lifetimes ago. And in the new time, you solve them in the moment. So something happens and straight away you're gonna imagine you I don't know, decide to cheat or steal or do something like that. You will have the consequences of that straight away. Not necessarily in the same way, maybe in another, but you'll have the consequences of it. So then what that means is that it makes you very aware, and it keeps you in line to be doing that which is the best for the whole, not the best for oneself. So it's this is extremely important. Then once so this is a process that I'm going to talk about the crystallization process, and this is a process that everyone that's gonna stay here on Earth as we evolve, gonna have to go through. And the crystallization process means that each cell in our body is going to receive spirit or higher self. And as each cell in our body receives spirit or higher self, the cells crystallize. So as we crystallize in every cell of our bodies and in our energy field, we create our light body. So basically what we're talking about with crystallization is that our body is every time becoming less dense. Even though our body is the densest part, it's becoming lighter in form. But as I say here, but this must be done with balance. Because too much light, when we receive source and too much light, it burns. So the crystal energy is a balanced energy. Because if we receive too much light, it burns. People might have like certain diseases that cause diseases of the skin or different things because of receiving too much light. And then the crystallization period with an upgraded energy system through aura transformation is a very easy process. Oh, what I was saying before, where our ascension symptoms sort of disappear. It's like with aura transformation, once you upgrade your aura, it depends on each person, but the whole body and aura crystallizes in about 9 months to a year and a half to 2 years. I'm saying it depends. It depends on each person, how some people are already crystallizing, some people don't and need to modify a lot of stuff in their daily life, like diets, etc. But with aura transformation, once you get this crystal aura, you're certainly for sure going to crystallize in every cell of your body and in your aura. And then the aura is like locked. It's this crystal aura, which is like closed in itself. So there can be no energetic influence from anything else except from your own crystal source. When you don't undergo aura transformation, that's when you have like many ascension symptoms and you crystallize in a much slower way, which is a lot more difficult for the body. And I'm not sure that you might be able to crystallize the whole way and become like a closed circuit in itself. And then here's the elements. As I was saying before, the whole idea of like moving into this golden age is moving into complete balance. So allowing for, the crystallization process to go through smoothly, for our dense part of the body to catch up with the light, our higher self and our spirit embodied into the body, and those two coming into balance. And then the elements coming into balance. So as you know from the maybe you might know from the astrological perspective, we have in our conscious system, in our energetic system, the elements. What happens is in the old time, so with the old aura, with soul energy, our elements are out of balance. A lot of people have one element which is really strong and the other one's really weak, or two and two. But when you move into this new time with the crystal aura, your elements, you have to keep them in balance all the time. And there's a consciousness transmission that allows them to come into balance in a higher frequency way. So you have the fire element, you have the water element, the earth, and the air. And these elements are connected to different dimensions, and they have different meanings, and how we relate to them is really important. So once you undergo aura transformation, it is you start accessing these elements from higher dimensions. So that's when I talk from higher frequency. But even at lower frequency, if you haven't crystallized yet, you can still keep these in balance, because once you have your elements balanced, it means that life runs way smoother for you, that you're able to materialize in a better way, that you're able to understand how to move with things. And this is part of like the elements is one of the workshops or webinars that I will be doing. And so here, that's the Mastery Empowerment webinars. So it's going to be 3 sessions. And session 1 is going to be understanding energy. What is yours and what isn't? Tools to maintaining your energy field in balance. So basically, where session 1 is understanding, first of all, what I was speaking about, how our auras are built, and understanding the energy that we hook onto, that hooks onto us, and what doesn't. So it is very important for people to start seeing, because I couldn't even see this for a long time, that I was like taking on so much of people's energy. And so in this session, I'll tell you where it is that to become aware, where we're taking on people's energy, and how to keep that in balance. And I'll give many tools of how to balance your own energy, how to let go of other people's energy, how to bring your energy back, how to manage. I think I explain it in the course. Anyways, it's how to how to know when you're walking into some place with like lower frequency, how to make the frequency of the place higher, how to not allow what is taking a really close look at what happens. For example, energy or thoughts are energy. So what happens when we're thinking about somebody a lot, and what we should do then, because that's somebody hooking, that gives the potential for somebody to hook energetically into us. So it's sort of like what session 1, I'm going to give tools to all of this. We'll clear together, and I'll give you tools so you can keep clearing yourself and keeping yourself in balance. Then session 2 is understanding the elements within us. So we will review the elements that I was saying before, that we all have the 4 elements. So we all have fire, water, earth, and air. And we'll learn how to relate to these elements. What are the qualities? What dimensions they represent, and what they mean to us, why they're important. And I'll show you how to bring them into balance, how to align them. And this is extremely important, because if we don't have an imbalance, it's just, I'll explain this in the workshop, but it's really hard to manage, to pull through with things. One, for example, might have a lot of fire, but if it's only fire, they're going to burn out. They need the other elements to sustain. They need the water to flow, the earth to create and to materialize, and the air to keep thinking and communicating. So it's important to have these in balance. And it'll be important to understand from a different perspective. And then session 3, it's going to be questions and answer session. So there you're, anything while you've been practicing throughout the weeks, the tools that I've been giving, you can ask questions on them, and doubts, because sometimes doubts arise. And then we'll have a light language activation to bring. Okay, so when I do light language, it's a circular language. It's language that some people understand it. Some people can just feel it. And it doesn't really matter, because it's such a profound transmission that goes much deeper. It goes into every cell of the human body, and it goes into the whole energy field. And it's like, it's transmitting so much pure knowledge. And that will be able to, it's going to be able to empower and sustain the learnings and teachings that you've had from before. And they're really always really profound transmissions. They're amazing, and they're only getting more and more amazing. It's like within the transmissions in itself, there is deep knowledge transmitted of the divine plan. So all of this, keeping ourselves into balance and accessing our higher consciousness and our cosmic source or crystal source, is part of the divine plan. And that's why I'm like so passionate about this, because as we integrate more of ourselves, so instead of being spread out and reaching out, we bring more of ourselves here into our hearts, into the 5th dimension and beyond, and we're able to like see things. We're in the same place, but we're so much more. We're able to see things from so much bigger perspective. So that's why it's stepping into new earth, stepping into a new platform of consciousness, because you're not looking out there anymore high and reaching out. You're opening here. And so a lot of like what the transmissions are also about is about coming back in and opening from here. This is where the shift is coming and the platform of consciousness changes. We're not reaching out anymore. We're reaching in. In our hearts, in ourselves, is all the information. The universe is within our hearts. And as I'm saying this, it's going to come up in that transmission. It's going to be an opening of the heart so that you can access the universe within. So that's beautiful, because in the universe within is like the whole of your essence, your uniqueness, that which has to come out. That's why we need to keep our body and our energy fields in balance, and the whole of our elements. Okay, so that's the webinars, and they're going to be really exciting. I'll have, after the webinars, I will send out the recording for whoever is not there, and I'll send out the PDFs with information, so that you have that information with, well, the PowerPoints, so that you have that information you can review. And then just for, this is just the aura transformation, which for me is a very important treatment. It's what I do in person, but I just believe it changed my life. And I believe it's different for everyone, but it is a huge step into accessing the higher frequencies and into, to being able, some might have a lot of work to do, not a lot, but like work to do afterwards, but they're going to be able to do it from this higher consciousness, in this new platform of consciousness, with no judgment, with integrity, no subconscious. So things are going to be really easy to clear for you. So this is just like aura transformation is for you if you feel drawn to it. And if you feel drawn to it, you can email me at info@barbaracanals.com to get more information, because there is a process. You have to read a book and I have to check a few things, because not everyone can undergo the process. If you have to be sort of able to sustain the shift. So let's say emotionally stable. So feel drawn to it. Have a hard time keeping your energy to yourself. So if you're really drained, so easily tired or exhausted, have tried everything, but still feel you're not moving forward in your life. That was sort of my case. I was already working with people, and working with people with consciousness, bringing through the languages of light. But it was there was something missing, and I was being pulled in many directions. In a way, my energy, I could just feel I was really tired, and I was being pulled in directions. And when I underwent aura transformation, it was such a shift. It was like all my energy came back. I was so ready. I was so clear at what why I came to this earth, because we all chose to come here, and we all have like a little piece of the puzzle of the divine plan. We all have our seed to plant, and it's not like all of a sudden you get it and you have like, the perfect planned out. No, you do as you keep, it evolves and develops as you do it. But like once I did our transformation, I knew from inside why I was doing things and why it was so important. So things that I was losing energy, my priority list sort of like changed completely. And this became my priority. Like really able to like stretch people into their consciousness and delivering this message that is so important. And other stuff completely fell off the list. But this, sort of like moves you forward in life. It was a big shift for me. So then want to have better connection with Indigo and crystal children, because once you undergo aura transformation and you have a crystal aura, your frequency raises so much that you're able to reach the frequency of all these children, which many of them are now like young, in their 20s or whatever, the Indigo. So you reach up to them, and you can understand each other. It is very amazing. If not, these children have to come down to meet the adults with their own soul, and it's really hard for them, and they, to have to come down and meet them. So are ready to let go of the past. If you're ready, if your karma's, I could see mine clearly. I could see like all the patterns and all that and everything 3D, like so clear. And I was just ready to let it go. And it goes. And all the reactiveness, grudges, regrets, everything like that just falls off. It's sort of magical. It's amazing. And want to move forward in order to live from truth from the inside out. So yeah, you're ready to step into your sovereignty, to be empowered, to find your truth, and your heart will be open. You're only going to have like access to your heart. So it's finding your truth. And many things that you thought, like finding your truth is also finding what you value, what it is that you really want, what it is that you're here to do. And so many things that you were conditioned to believe, and many beliefs will also sort of fall. It's very fun. It's super interesting. And then feel ready to take full responsibility of your life. Yep. And this is, hold on, stop sharing. The whole of the presentation. So basically, overall, it's this idea, the idea and the message that I need and I want to deliver is that we're ready in this time to access this new time energy, to access this crystal aura or crystal energy system, which is a much higher frequency. Then you live from a much higher frequency energetics, where these words as of love and any word, the meaning becomes way more high frequency and much deeper, much bigger in a way. And and we need to access this higher frequency because we all carry the seed for the divine plan. And that's very, very important to create New Earth. New Earth is within each one of us, within each one of our hearts. And if you feel called to this, then step up to it because you will be ready to to deliver what you came here to do. And then as one creates New Earth within them, they're going to be able to create it outside. What is coming in the golden age is amazing. What we're going to be seeing, the shifts are incredible. But if you're listening to this, you are part of the shift. Also super important is understanding, what we are, what I'm going to say in the webinar. So what are we, like on the first session, what are we energetically? Understand what your energy field is, what your energy really is, that your thoughts are energy, and how important it is to manage your thoughts, and how to manage, that. So like thoughts from others, or becoming aware of that part. And the elements, very important, so that we can keep them in balance and to live in harmony and in balance. And then this amazing transmission that I'll do for the third session. So it's a whole package on its own, these 3 webinars, which I feel is going to be really important. It's important. One thing is if you want to undergo aura transformation, and then you can write to me. My website is my name, and my email is info@myname, and that's one thing. And then understanding our energetics and our elements is key, so that we can become whole. The whole idea of what we're moving into is coming back into our wholeness. So bringing back everything that we are back into our body. We're ready. We are so much more than we can think of. And we're ready to release everything that is holding us back. We're ready to leave, it's so simple currently, to let go of all the trauma and to allow for all the consciousness that we are to come back into ourselves, into our body. And all that consciousness is our gifts, our talents, our innate knowledge. So as your cells crystallize, you will start understanding like that all the knowledge is not from what other people have told you. All the knowledge comes from within. And you might just know things, really, really know things, or, and know it from such a deep place inside where there's no one that can, it's knowing this deep truth. So nobody can actually pull you the other way or sideways because you just know it. And that is very important. And it's very important for us to access this and bring our gifts and talents, because that's what we came here for, and now in the golden age, to plant those, to use those gifts and those talents and to plant that seed. And to honor those gifts and talents. Because what happens with a human psyche and our conditioning is that many times we have gifts and talents, and because we've had them, we don't really acknowledge them. We think that everyone has them. So it's becoming aware of what is magical about ourselves, the smallest things, and what is magical, because those are our gifts and talents. And then you have to honor those, and those will grow and become something else. Most of the time in our psyche and in our conditioning, we don't even acknowledge them, these very special things, because they, in the collective, they haven't been seen like something important, or we just don't, we think maybe it's something that everyone can do. So that is important, to start looking at what it is that we usually, also what it is that we love to do, or that we used to love to do when we were small. We, in our conditioning, we forget to dream. So our dreams, our passions, our truth, that is, our truth, has been suppressed. So when you step into this new time, it is a discovering of those dreams, those passions, and it is a opening to self-love, it's the opening of the heart. So it's opening to self-love, to rediscovering, to loving our bodies, loving being here on earth, and remembering this divine plan, what we came for. Once you step into this new time, there's no, your complete alignment, there's no unbalance, going, reaction, going ups, going down. No, you're aligned, you're in your truth, you're following your path. Doesn't matter what others do, you know what you're doing. Connect it to the whole, because there's that, grander vision, but you're following what you're doing, and you're in this permanent joy, because joy is the highest frequency, love and joy, and you're in this permanent joy and love, and ready to, that is self-love, ready to show the world. So we're in this time where it is amazing. People can be ready to show themselves. We've been hiding so much, and now we're ready to show ourselves. So if you're ready to explore yourself more and show yourself and bring more of your truth into this world, you can join the webinars and we'll explore from there. We started at 12:12 and now it's 13:13, so I'm gonna leave it there. I love you so much and thank you for joining. Bye, take care. Thank you.
Registration for Barbara Canals' online activations are available on this webpage. Thank you for joining us in this Mastery Empowerment course.